Our second speaker is a young entrepreneur. It says here he has had some clashes with our topic this afternoon. A diver, he has a passion for diving and at the same time a secret passion for nature. Please welcome Mr. Gerard D. Douglas. Our third speaker is a psychiatrist. She received the highest honors from St. Scholastica's Academy in 1976 and 1982. From the National Science and Technology Authority, the Full Scholar, Best Exchange Student, Rotary Exchange Program, Union Endicott, New York, Gold Medals, Swimming, Crew of the Year, McDonald's, Outstanding Girls Swimmer, Philippine Association of Swimmers, Best Pediatric Intern, and she has also published materials and books, additional contributions in the world of psychiatry. On January 22, first child and adolescent psychiatrist in Negros Occidental and Negros Oriental. She organized the first Kami Taorin, a morning fun of games for the mentally ill and their families in Negros Occidental. Our third speaker is very experienced, especially in the world of psychiatry. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Maria Jocelyn Galson Gallares. Since our speakers are very much ready for this afternoon, let us hear something from them. We will start with Mr. Gerard Douglas.
Afternoon. To the faculty, so Salle, the students as well. My name is Gerard. My friends call me G-Boy. First of all, to the people at the back, can you hear me well? No? This way, okay? Okay. First of all, I'm not here to tell you not to use drugs. I'm not, neither am I going to tell you to use drugs as well. But maybe after my speech or something, it's up to you to decide. I'm a drug addict before, was, and up to now, still am a drug addict. To tell you a little bit of history, I started using drugs when I was in grade 6. I'm an alumni of SJI, so I remember during those times when a classmate of mine from Victoria's, he brought along some grass, weed, and we used to smoke in the bathroom. It was fun. It was an experience. During high school, weed or pot, grass, it comes along with alcohol use and smoking. So the progression as early as that age is already starting. So we started drinking heavily. I'm the youngest in our family, so actually my parents didn't really notice that I'm drinking or using. So it was not very obvious. It was not obvious. So during high school, we used to go out. Wala pa sa mga more for so we used to hang out in friends' house. So there's drinking session, pot, a lot of smoking, and experimenting with different alcohols. And so that was it. So my high school was okay. Never had any. I never repeated or never had any failing marks in the fourth quarter. My grades were okay. Although I had some failing marks sometimes, but I still managed at the end of the year. So it was very manageable, the drug use. During high school, I remember my sister telling me, when I was about to graduate, she told me, "Pagalo ka, G-boy, tumalabot ka sa college. Pag gusto ka, inom, alcohol, pag gusto ka sigarilyo, kung hindi ko ito tinawan siya po." Okay. So, it's very fresh in my mind, the parting words of my sister when I was in fourth year. So, when I landed I studied in College of St. Benilde in Path, Manila. And when I got there, I was with some high school classmates as well. So, on the weekends, we would, get drunk, get high on weed. So, one time, my best friend in high school, who was also with me in Manila, he told me, "Pagalo ko, kahit anong blush ako, na para mas bagsik, nung parang terms mo na." Kaya nung tuloy na rapper, I remember when I was in first year college, hippie na hippie ko. I had long hair, I never wear shoes. My shirts, my lineup of clothes were always tie-dye and pajamas. So I got tired of, maluya ako laperke with weed. So why not? And siguro, one thing that struck me was when my sister told me not to use one, it heightened my curiosity. So I decided to use shabu. So the first time I used it, sometimes shabu, by the way, it's methamphetamine. Sometimes it's called crystal meth. Thank you. Bato, or I don't know, there's no ilan bato. So the first time I tried it, I'll admit, it was really, really good. Mario, it's an upper, so I was really high. Then I was really amazed with the effects. So it changed my personality. So it made me more outgoing. I was painting on the side, so it really made my work for me. I noticed that my work, progressed as well. The sad thing about this is the more love I felt for drugs, for shabu, the more it got worse. So I started missing classes, started stealing money. Sometimes I would, I had a girlfriend before, and she left me because she found out that I was using. So I started using once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week. And naglang sa stage na I only counted the number of days I was sober. So sober ko once a week, once a month, and then it became, regular thing. I can function, I can't wake up when I'm not using. So my teeth, nag-crack na siya kung I was using pipes. I would pass out at parties. Sometimes I would try to kill myself using. Tried using so much that my nose started bleeding. So it's like making you insane. Imagine you're using, and then at the same time your nose is bleeding. So what I would do, get a Kleenex, and then I would stuck it in my nose to stop the bleeding. But I would still use until I pass out. So the progression is getting worse. So sometimes if I can't sleep, I pop some volumes. You can get it anywhere. You can buy it in drugstores. And they say you need a prescription. It's not true in the Philippines. You can buy anything as long as you have money. So it's not like I'm not telling you to buy one, but, to be realistic, you can buy anything you want here. So I started popping volumes just to get sleep, staying notes, numbers. To the point I'm not even, orally, I'm not taking it orally, but I'm snorting it. crushed it to powder and then snort it. It got worse. I stopped school, decided to go back here, self-rehabilitate. I wanted to quit. So I went back, tried to stop on my own. I stopped for 12 months, then balik na naman. Eventually, my family found out about it. Right now, 175 pounds. When I was actively using, I was 120. So you can imagine how skinny I was. So there was an intervention with my family. I was so lucky to be on that intervention. So they told me that I would be sent to jail or go to rehab. So it wasn't an option. I slept for 5 days thinking about it. Then I decided, maybe I should seek some help. So I went to rehab in Manila. It's a 12-step program. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's part of Alcoholics Anonymous, and for drugs, they call it Narcotics Anonymous. So it's a 45-day rehab. We talk to people who also have the same problem. When I got out, I was really okay. I started talking to my family, trying to do good in the community. And after a month, balik na naman ko. And it's called relapse. I had some relapses before. So during the relapse, depression na naman. So I was really depressed. My family spent so much for my rehabilitation, and I felt sick, after going through all the process of recovery, then going back again from the start. So after depression, I really got, totally, my attitude became worse. I voluntarily admitted myself to a psychiatric ward in Manila also, at St. Clair's. So I went there with all the crazy people. I'm crazy as well before, so I was stuck there for 10 days. After I got out, balik na lang ang drugs. After 1 week, went back to drug using again. So it's really something that I can't control. It's really hard to quit. Then I went back to rehab. So I have been in 2 different rehabs and 1 psychiatric ward. After a couple of months of using, relapse, trying to recover, relapse again, it's like a pattern. But at one point in my life, March 17, the year 2000, I was 20 years old, and it was like 1 week before my birthday. I was already out of the house in Manila. I haven't taken a bath for a week. I haven't taken a crap for 1 week. I haven't eaten for 1 week. I haven't slept for 1 week. The only money I had was 400 pesos, and I had like 1 gram of sugar with me. So it was like very hopeless. Go to serve now. I remember my friend telling me I live the life of the low life. Low life lang tama. So, it dawned on me I'm turning 21 next week. What the hell am I doing? So, it was like a turning point. The turning point. I stood at the turning point whether I continue using or start a new life. So I didn't use the shampoo left, the shampoo I had left. So I threw it away, kept the money, went home, got some sleep. Then I told my mom, gusto ko ulit, wala na ko to. So that was it. That was 6 years ago. I've been sober for 6 years and 9 months. In Bacolod, there's a support group here. We have LA meetings. So, na-context na namin those meetings, we have it regularly. So, I attend the meetings every day, talk about my problems. It was not easy. I had to, I started talking to my parents. I don't know what the problem was before, no? Mabakrak ako naman eh. Siguro I had some bit of anger issue with my parents, or maybe it's because of peer pressure. I really don't know. I can't explain it. Basta I love using drugs. I don't know why. Maybe something in me, gets excited when I'm using. And after all the damages have been done, I won't go to details on the extent of my use, no? Pero if you really come to think of it, ako sa order of battle na, if you're familiar with that, ako na sa wanted, talakbo, ako na sa police, ako na sa unexpected. I also started selling drugs, selling my stuff, pero ako naging kumita, and after deciding to recover, it's really hard to regain that trust again. So it was not easy. It was 1 year of proving myself to everybody that, I'm trying to be good, trying to do good. So, tama na. After a year, it gets easier. I started appreciating other things than drugs. So, I was already 21, bago ko ma-realize na baka namin kung galit na may bigla ka, baka namin kung galit na if you hang out with friends that are not using. And I started painting again without drugs. And baka namin man sa kagi ko, and it was okay. I started taking pictures. Nakita ko my painting before was like, the shades that I'm using is mostly dull or black. And when I'm recovering, I already appreciate different colors. Same with my photographs. Even the music I listen to changes. So it's like a life moving experience. Up to now, I'm not saying that I'm cured. I'm still struggling every day. So every day I wake up, tapos na mag-score eh. I mean, you go anywhere, you hit a color, tapos na mag-score. So it's a struggle every day. And when I say sober for 6 years, I mean also alcohol. I'm not using or drinking alcohol for 6 years. So kung ano ako mag-lie, I go out. I also go out, ako nightlife, but I don't drink. I smoke sometimes, I never quit smoking a couple of years, but so once in a while I smoke cigarette, it's not easy. And to be honest, life is really unfair. Sometimes I have some problems with my family, problems with my girlfriend, problems with work, problems with my friends. And right now, I think the one solution to all the problems is definitely by not using. Because I noticed that when I'm using it, it gets worse. So now I'm dealing with it, facing life on its own terms. If it's too much, I call my sponsor and tell him about my problems. So if it's really, very heavy, I go to meetings. I throw all my issues, my problems there. So nobody really criticizes me or accuses me or tell me I'm bad. So they just listen. So it's kapag sa buo. Advice, I won't give you any. So it's up to you. So if you wanna experience what I've experienced, you wanna lang to, because the more people tell me not to do it, I do it. So this time I'm giving you the choice. So you miss out a lot of things when you're into drugs. You miss out lots and lots of things, especially the ones you love. Hindi naman siya sometimes you can't replace it. There's one instance na ang isa ko ka-friend died because of, using. So, those things, you cannot, turn down the clock and undo it. So, it's permanent. So, I have to live with it right now. There were also bad things that happened to me, I can't undo it. So, right now, I finished my degree in marketing here in Salle, 2004, last 2004. So, I'm a graduate of Salle after 8 years of studying. I have a business of my own. My thing before was photography, so now I'm a photographer. People pay me for what I like to do. That's the coolest thing about being sober is you can do things that you want to do, then get paid. I have regained my friends, especially my family. I have problems, I can talk to them. Although kung lagi exam ako, na plangga ka magato ako, hindi I'm not used to the wholesome idea, but at least it gets better. I'm not that wholesome, but it gets better. Culture and music-wise, it's still the same. We listen to same music, hang out with recovering friends. It's the same, but this time I know that, I live one day at a time, so one day at a time. Hindi lang ko mag-use for the day. Tomorrow, hindi lang ko na-reserve. But basta right now, I'm not gonna use. So I know I'm safe. I hope you learn something from this one. Kung lang ako mali to talk, but sige lang, maybe I'm paying it forward to you. So, you guys deserve the best in life, and if you ask me, there's more to life than drugs. Thank you.
Very much, Mr. Gerard Dantes. Mr. Dantes is the youngest of 5 children of also Elito Dantes. He graduated BS Marketing at this university, and he had a short stint in St. Philip, a special course as a young doctor, and right now he is the owner of the Chief Technology. We will now proceed to our second speaker. She is the daughter of Judge Roberto S. Johnson. She has 2 children. She is really into the regional trial prosecutor, regional trial court branch 47. Please welcome Assistant City Prosecutor Dinah Rocha.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm afraid my speaking parts won't be as interesting as G-Boy's. In fact, it is boring because it is about the law. But I will try to, this is actually a very long and comprehensive law, but I will just pick out the points that I feel that will be of interest to you, and that is the points which would be more important to you. Now, I'm listening to G-Boy, and I realize in fact, he's so lucky because he didn't get caught. Because I am assigned to the drugs court, and twice a week I go to the hearings. I attend hearings of drug cases. And right now, while say a vast majority of the prisoners are coming from the really lower class, we have some who are from the prominent families. And they are in prison. Especially if they have committed acts which are non-bailable. They really cannot get out. And believe me, it's really living hell inside the prison, especially our prison facilities. It's very much congested. It is supposed to be only for 400 inmates, but right now we have 800 inmates. That's twice the capacity. And when these prisoners come inside the courtroom, you can really feel the courtroom stinking. They cannot, they don't have proper plumbing, so they cannot bathe. They cannot, God knows how many days they take a bath. So it's really not a desirable experience to be inside a prison. But at any rate, I won't scare you with that. We'll go to the law. Okay. Republic Act 9165, or what is known as the Comprehensive Drugs Act of 2002. Now, the old law was enacted 1972. This is the new law. So, 1972, there has been a lot of changes. It's high time they have amended the law. Now, so right now, what the law that governs dangerous drugs is the Republic Act 9165. Now, I'm just going to run through what acts are covered by the said law and the penalties. Now, the new law basically still contains the old law, except that there are changes with respect to penalties. The penalties have been increased. And the new law prescribes for mandatory drug testing, one of which is your random drug test. It is required by law. So this is not just directory. It is not for the school to decide if you want to do it or not. It is mandatory under the law. So we'll go through the lawful acts. So we have importation of drugs and precursors and essential chemicals. We don't have much problem with this here in Bacolod because we don't really import. It's in Manila we have a big problem about this because, well, you've heard in the newspapers, kilos and kilos of shabu are being imported to our country. But here in our city, well, we're lucky we don't have this problem yet. And the penalty for this is life imprisonment to death. Now, since death penalty has been abolished, so it's life imprisonment. So how long is life imprisonment? That's 40 years in prison. So 1 week in prison is hell, and I don't know how can you possibly survive 40 years in believing. So second is the sale, trading, administration, dispensation, delivery, and distribution of these dangerous drugs. So if you sell drugs, it is also punishable by life imprisonment. Okay, I won't mention death anymore because it's been abolished, so it's life imprisonment. Maintenance of dead, dive, or resort. Let's say you have establishment. Okay, it's say a snack bar, but that establishment is being used to cater drug users. So they have their hot sessions there. They have they store there, they sell there. That the owner of this establishment can be penalized, can be imprisoned to life imprisonment. So employees and visitors of this then dive and resort. So you cannot say, hey, I'm just a secretary here, just work here. Now if you have knowledge that that place is being used for use of dangerous drugs, you still have a criminal liability. The manufacturer, of course, is being punished. Possession of chemical diversions. One example is acetone. Okay, acetone. If you have noticed, acetone nowadays are they're very scarce now, and it's not readily available, because it's being regulated, because this is one of the components in making shabu. So, as you notice, it's now, they call it nail polish remover, and it's colored mostly green, because they have other chemicals that retard the chemical from giving out the fume or the very, what's this, component that would be an ingredient of shabu. So we have possession of dangerous drugs, of course that's punished. Possession of equipment, instrument and apparatus. So it is not, you cannot say, well, hey, I don't have shabu, I just have the tutor. That is still punishable. No? And the penalty for that is, well, not really that, it's lower, but still the same, it's 6 years imprisonment to 12. Possession of drugs during, and I want you to take note of this. Possession of dangerous drugs during parties, social gatherings, or meetings. These sorts of aggravate the crime. When I mentioned earlier that the penalties were raised, under the old law, you have to have with you 200 grams of shabu in order that you will be punished with life imprisonment to death. Okay. So now it's being reduced to 50 grams. So if you have 50 grams with you, your possible penalty is life imprisonment. Life imprisonment. Now, it doesn't mean that if you don't have 50 grams with you, you're scotch-free. The penalty is just being graduated. So let's say you have 20 grams that would, well, penalize you for 12 years to 20 years imprisonment. It's graduated basing on the amount that can be recovered in your possession. But the smallest amount, 0.01 gram, that's how they pack it. And I cannot believe the price of these things. 0.01 gram. Can you imagine how little that is? That is, the running price is 450 to 500. That's how much it costs. And if it's December now, that's what they told me. If it's December or it's mascara period, the price jacks up. It goes up to 600. 0.01 gram. Can you imagine? So, anyway, possession of these dangerous drugs during parties, social gatherings, or meetings will jack up the penalty. Now, even if you don't have 50 grams with you, if you are caught with dangerous drugs in a party or any gathering of more than 2 persons, the penalty will immediately be life imprisonment. It doesn't matter if you only have 1 gram. Will be life imprisonment. Masaka na siya. Basta it was during parties or gatherings. The same with possession of equipment. During parties, the penalty is high. Use, of course, is being penalized. Cultivation of plants. When you're going to be smart ass, and you're going to say, well, I want to save money, and I'll just grow grass sa likod, sa balay. Well, that's also penalized by life imprisonment, even if it's just 1 pot, okay? Even if it's just 1 single plant standing there, it's life imprisonment. And the property will be cheated. Okay, what is cheat? It will be the property where this marijuana plants are planted will be confiscated in favor of the government. So if you have, say 1 hectare lot, okay, you're planting, say, orchids, and in the middle of this orchid plantation, you put 1 single plant of marijuana. The whole thing will be cheated in favor of the government if you get caught. So, maintenance, actually this concerns, this is for doctors, no? They are required to maintain original records of transaction of dangerous drugs. Doctors, I really learned a lot from the testimonial of the G-boy. He said you can get Valium anywhere without prescription. And I believe that's true. But under the law, supposed to be the doctors, well, I think that has to be taken up with the pharmacy and the people selling it. Because the doctors, they're supposed to be required to have a special form in order that they can prescribe these drugs. They have what they call an S2, no? It's a special form that is issued by the Department of Health. Now, it's being monitored. So, every time they prescribe, they will have to, may have written DOH. Let's say the DOH will say, okay, I will give you 10 forms of S2. At the end of the year, you submit the copy to me. Okay? So they will see if you are prescribing left and right these dangerous drugs because they are drugs that are regulated. Hindi naman tanan, no? Hindi naman tanan, hindi na prohibited. We have drugs that are only regulated, like the cough syrups, which are also used by many drug users. No, tanan eh. Tanan, especially the antidepressants and the stimulants. So, this is for them, actually, they're required by law to keep track of their prescription. So, I also mentioned that the law prescribes for mandatory testing now. So, now, under the new law, this, we have to undergo drug testing for the following. Application for driver's license. So you cannot get a driver's license without the drug testing. Applications for firearms license and permit to carry firearms outside the residence. Persons who by nature or by their profession carry firearms, this would include the security guards. They are not military, they are police, but they carry firearms, so they must undergo mandatory drug testing. And this concerns you. Secondary and tertiary school students shall undergo random drug testing. The word is shall, so it's mandatory. Officers and employees of public and private offices. For private offices, it is required by law for private offices having employees of more than 10. If medyo nakunakunin mo yung negosyo or office mo that you have more than 10 employees, it is mandated by law that there should be random drug testing for your employees. Persons charged before the prosecutor's office with a criminal offense having imposed a penalty of not less than 6 years. And candidates for public office, okay, whether appointed or elected, national or local government, it is also mandatory for them to undergo drug testing. The rest of the provisions of the law, I don't think you will be interested in that because it's very technical. It involves the custody of drugs during seizures. It's actually for police officers to learn by heart. And I'm just going to add a little based on what I'm seeing now to the testimonial of G-Boy. Now, most of our prisoners or accused in drug cases, they're really the members of the lower strata of our society. And why? Because it's easy money. It's really, really easy money for them. Now, if you let them work, how much is the minimum wage? 160, 150, 180, okay. If they can just sell, say, 5 packets of this shabu a day, imagine how much money would that be for them. And so that's why it's very, very hard to fight because of the financial reward that it gives the pushers. No? But they also pay the price. We cannot get all of them, but the law enforcers and their office are trying. We are trying the best that we can. We are filing charges whenever these people get caught. We are really not giving anybody any special treatment. In my court alone, I have siguro 8, no, na they're really of the prominent family. I'm not in the liberty to divulge their names because the case is being heard. It's not proper for me. But they have spent time. Some have been out on bail, nakapiyansa na lang. But some are inside the prison with the other prisoners. And they also wear orange shirts during hearings, and they have their handcuffs. And they're in love with the other stinking prisoners. So, I'm not trying to scare you. What I'm trying to say here is that in every action there is a consequence. So in every action there is a consequence. And if you choose this because, well, you feel matigas or something, you have to also think of the consequence. What if you get caught? It's not easy. Or, well, what if you don't get caught, you get lucky, but you'll end up wasted. And that's really a sad story. And I'm going to close this with also a phrase from G-Boy. He said, life isn't fair. And I'm reminded of the words of Bill Gates. That's his #1 rule. Life isn't fair. Get used to it. Don't make it as an excuse. It's not an excuse that, I'm not loved, that I might as well take shabu. It's not an excuse. Life isn't fair. Get used to it. Okay? And survive.